Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Young here, and today I'm back with another Fortnite tips and tricks video for you guys. And in today's video, I'm going to be going over the best custom control settings to use. They just recently put this in the game. The start of Season 6 is when they made the update for this to have custom mapping to your buttons. And I'm going to be going over the best settings to use and what my settings are. And before we get into the video, I'm going to be doing a huge giveaway. I'm going to be giving away a free pair of the HyperX Cloud 2s. I've recently joined a competitive team called BH on Fortnite, and the owner of that team, Masked Mayo, is partnering up with me to do this giveaway. If you guys want to enter this giveaway, it's super simple. All you have to do is to drop a like on this video, subscribe to my channel, and subscribe to Mayo's channel. Turn on both of our notifications and leave a comment down below saying 25k hype. Mayo is grinding to be in the top 5 on the leaderboards for solo, so make sure you guys show some love on his channel. And alright guys, let's get right to the video. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to be going over the best custom control settings to use in Fortnite. And my settings, the settings that I use may be a little bit different than the settings that you guys want to use. And I'm going to explain exactly why. And for the reason is, if those of you guys who don't know already, I use an Elite controller when I play. It's very similar to a Scuf controller. Personally, I like the Elite controller better. I feel like it's a lot easier to press the paddles. I feel like on the Scuf controller, the two inner paddles are kind of hard to press. They're kind of difficult. They're not the easiest. So that's why I kind of like the Elite controller better. And it's easier to put on the trigger stops. So for me personally, I run the Elite controller. That is the controller that I use. So it might be a little bit different. And for those of you guys who don't know like about any of those controllers, I've never even heard of them. If you guys live under a rock like that, what they are is they have paddles on the back, and you can assign the paddles to different buttons on your controller, which is extremely helpful. I mean, extremely helpful. And for instance, the bottom left paddle that I use is like for the paddles, there's two big paddles and there's two smaller paddles. And for the bigger paddles, it's something you're pressing all the time, 24/7. The bottom left paddle is the A button, and the bottom right paddle is the B button, because that is to jump into build. That's something that you do 24/7 in Fortnite. So those are my biggest paddles. This is very important because for one of my bindings, for one of the things that I changed, I move it to right on the D-pad. Normally that would be very difficult to press because you have to take your finger all the way off the left stick and move it down to the left on the D-pad just so you can press it. And for my Elite controller, since I have paddles in the back, all you have to do is hit a paddle instead. So I can assign the paddle to whatever button I want. And if I want to assign it to a button that I don't really use all the time, which is probably going to be right on the D-pad. So if I can assign extra buttons to other buttons that I normally wouldn't press on the controller, that's going to give me a pretty big advantage because I have more buttons that I can press. It's a whole lot easier because I don't have to take my thumbs off the sticks at all, which is definitely an advantage when it comes to outbuilding players and when it comes to aiming in Fortnite and when it comes to hitting your shots. So now I'm going to put up the settings that I am currently using right now. I've only been using this for maybe a day or two, so they might end up changing. But for right now, I kind of like the way they are. So I'm going to put up on the screen on the exact controls that I use. And I'm going to explain exactly why I have the controls the way I do. So when it comes to your custom bindings, really there isn't too much to change. You want to keep most of the stuff the same. Some people go all out and change so many stuff. But I feel like if you change everything, you keep changing a ton of stuff, it's going to be really, really hard to get used to. And a lot of the stuff, the way it is actually pretty good. There really isn't too much that you need to change, unless you really want to. But for me personally, I only changed, I think it was 2 things that I've changed, and one important thing to change that I changed that I would recommend almost everybody to change is the ball. You see in the bottom right, the right stick down is the trap picker / place, and that was really important because when you're in the build controls, when you have your building out and you want to put down a trap, or if you want to put down a launch pad, instead of having to press X to pull it out, what you can do instead is to custom bind it so that when you press the right stick down, it's going to press it right away, so you don't have to take your thumb off the stick. It's going to be really, really helpful. I would definitely recommend that to everyone. I've only switched it about 2 days ago, so this is something that I'm still getting used to, but for sure this is really going to help me out in the long run because it's going to be so much easier being able to place down my traps while also looking at the same time than having to take it off, press the X, and then look again. That is going to be so helpful for you guys, so make sure you guys do that. I would definitely recommend that. And the other thing that I changed, that it's been, for me, when it comes to building, a lot of times I cuck myself because they did change the timer on the building, so it has been messing me up a little bit, like unintentionally editing and just stuff like that, just some really dumb stuff. And sometimes I get caught, accidentally editing and stuff. So one thing that I did is I made the edit button separate from pulling out the building. And what it used to be like is if you press B to pull out your building, you'd also use B to edit. But the thing is, I made that 2 different controls. I made B I made the B button, of course the build, that's a normal one, and then I changed it to the right on the D-pad is to edit. And like I said earlier, I have the Elite controller, so on one of my paddles, I think it's the top right paddle, all I have to do is press the top right paddle, and then immediately I'll be able to edit, and it's super helpful. I definitely recommend you do something like this. The only thing that kind of sucks that it doesn't work is you can't confirm the edit, so when you hit the edit button, when you go to edit, you have to press the B button again to confirm it, which kind of sucks. I wish they're probably going to make an update to that pretty soon. I hope so. That would be really, really helpful. And if this is a binding you guys are looking to switch, one thing you can do is you can change the edit. For me, I have it on the right D-pad, but I have the Elite controller, and if you guys don't have an Elite controller, what I would recommend doing, probably your best alternative, is to put it as the Y button, because if you put it the X button, you kind of use that to open chest, reload. You kind of use it a lot, but the Y button, pretty much all it is to pull out your pickaxe. And a lot of the times, you don't really need to pull out your pickaxe for a whole lot. When you're pulling out your pickaxe, you're usually just mining, so you're not really into a gunfight. But when it comes to editing, you're in gunfights, and it's gonna be, you have to press buttons very, very quickly. So if you don't have an Elite controller or a Scuff controller, anything with paddles on it, I definitely recommend, if this is something you want to change it to the Y button, and then have your pickaxe binding, have that on the right of the D-pad. That is probably your best alternative, and those are the two things that I've changed for my controller setting personally. One thing that would be really, really cool, I don't ever see it happening because it would be really overpowered and such an unfair advantage, but one thing that would be really cool, and I was something that I would like to see happen, is for like, you have a Scuff or an Elite controller, what you can do is when you go to bind it, you want to put bindings on it, it isn't bound to a button. And what I mean by that, so when you normally on a Elite controller or a Scuff controller, it is bound to a button. So my bottom left paddle is bound to the A button, so every time I press it, I jump, it's the A button. But one thing that I would like to see happen is that bottom left paddle is not bound to any button, and it's something that's bound in game. And being able to bound my paddles to buttons like the wall or the ramp or the floor, to something in the building aspect that is not done in the game yet, or something that I would really like to see happen is a lot of times, so if you're in a build fight, like a scenario right here, like you're in a build fight, you're running up on a guy, and a lot of times, so those guys on console, you know exactly my issue is, say you're building up on a guy and you have to build quickly, you're not really thinking, you get ran up on, so you're building up really quickly, and the second you go to take a shot, you pull out your building, and then the weapon you have equipped just then is the weapon you had before you used the building. So if you were using heals, and you're gonna have heals after you use that, and it kind of annoying, because if you have to jump on the guy, you're above the guy, you finish building and you want to get a shot, you have to scroll all the way over to your shotgun, which could just cost you time and not make you not able to get the shot. So something that I would like to see happen that'd be really, really cool is if you could add bindings to weapons as well. And one thing that I would definitely do is I would definitely bind one of my paddles to a shotgun. I can tell you that right now, and I would definitely bind one of my things to the wall. The reason for the shotgun is after you get out of that building, if you're building up on a guy, a lot of times it's going to be close quarter gunfights, and you're going to want to pull out your shotgun almost 9 times out of 10. And even if you just pull out your shotgun, you at least know what weapon you're on, because there have been so many times where I've been ramping up on guys, and then I pulled out, the wrong weapon, pulled an SMG, pulled out my AR, and I was trying to pull out my shotgun, and it completely screwed me over. So that's why I would pull out my shotgun. Even if I wanted to go to my SMG, I would at least know that I'm on my shotgun, so it would be a whole lot easier to scroll over to. So that's something that I would like to see happen in Fortnite. I don't know if it ever will, but it's definitely something that I would like to have happen. And back to the point I was talking about when I wanted to have the wall, and the reason why I would want to have the wall equipped is a lot of times you're in a gunfight and you need to pull out your building, and if you use the ramp blast, there can be a small delay in between when you put the ramp and then when you put the wall. So if you just have a custom bind as the wall, it will immediately pull out the wall no matter what. Because you guys know, if you have your wall out, of course when you're using Builder Pro, whatever you're using, if you already have your wall out, it's going to place right away with just one click. But if you don't have it out, if you have a floor panel, if you have stairs out, you have to double click it for it to actually come out. So just having a paddle or having a binding to a wall is going to be really, really helpful. It's going to make building a lot quicker, and I feel like gunfights are going to be a lot smoother. So that's just something that I would like to see have happen. I don't know if it ever will, but if it did, I think that would be really, really cool. I would really enjoy that. I'm sure a lot of you guys would as well. And I want to hear from you guys. If you guys have already tried this out, maybe you guys have, maybe you guys haven't. If you guys have already tried this out, let me know what your guys' key bindings are. If you changed anything, if you guys have some weird key binds equipped that most people don't use, definitely let me know. And guys, that's kind of it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I think next week I'm going to do a full guide on the settings. I'm going to try to do a settings video every single season. So at the beginning of every single season, I'm going to do an updated video on my settings. And this was going to be really, really good because during this season, I tried out every single sensitivity. Of course, like I didn't try like 1.1 or 2.2, but I've tried every single high sensitivity, 9.9, 10.10, 9.8. I've tried every single possible high sensitivity that you can think of, and I'm gonna give you guys a full rundown on what I did and what I think the best ones to use and best sensitivity to use now in Fortnite is. So definitely look forward to that video next week. I'm gonna be dropping it very soon, so make sure you guys check out that video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, turn on my notifications so you're notified for every single new video, and alright guys, I will see you in the next video.